Hey ladies, how's everybody doing?
Good. How
Good.
are you?
Great. As you know, I've just come back from an amazing adventure. I was gone for a month, which I've never done before. And I know you've just done a road trip, Michelle. And Tracy, you're getting ready to go away to some fabulous place in the universe. I forget where. Where are you going?
Sweden.
Sweden, right. You're going to Sweden, and I thought it just might be fun to talk about how we do travel at our age and little maybe tips or tricks that could help anybody who's like planning vacations or planning road trips or whatever to go, oh, I never thought of that. That's a really good idea. So I just figured we'll start and just talk about how we prepped for or how we are prepping for our vacations. So Tracy, since yours is brand new and you're just like embarking on this, I think you leave in a couple of days, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you tell us what does that look like for you? How much planning have you like packing? Like what does that all look like for you?
Well, we're doing it differently this time, because normally everything is organized. Our hotels, what we're doing, well, not what we're doing, but a general sense of what we want to see in that. And the reason I'm going is because my daughter's doing a term in Sweden at the university. So we wanted to go visit her while she was there to see what, university life was like over there. And we knew for the last 5 months we were going, but we didn't book our ticket last week. So we just booked a ticket. And right now it's just my other daughter and me, because my husband can't get as much time off. He might join us at the end of the trip. We're going for 3 weeks. We have booked our first night where we're going to stay in Copenhagen, in Denmark, and then we'll take a train over to Lund to Sweden, and from there we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants and booking as we go and figuring out. We've got a loose itinerary, but this is completely the opposite of how we've ever done it, and we've had a lot of stuff going on, and it just seemed like so much to just organize a trip. So we're
Uh-huh.
just kind of organizing it as we go. We're just so
Wow.
I guess I should do a follow up and say, tell you how it works out, because we'll see. I figure the worst that will happen is that we will pay way too much for hotel rooms because
Mm.
we didn't book in advance. But we got a pretty good deal on our flights, and we've got a good, like I said, a loose itinerary, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what, like, the weather there is very similar to spring in Vancouver, so it's like long pants, layers, and it's like, oh, I'm going on a trip. I should be going somewhere hot. So this is a bit odd, but yeah. So that's how we've planned it.
Okay, so I want to ask, how does it feel from going from something that you normally prepare really like, down to fine details pretty much to just saying, we're going to wing it. Does it feel more liberating to just kind of go, we'll work it out as we go along?
I don't know yet, because like, I'm trying to wind up everything so that I don't have to check in
Mm,
for 3 weeks work wise. And
right.
so that part is busy. I usually like to go and figure out some outfits and what am I going to wear and all this. I haven't even, it's like, whatever. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be. Or I don't know. Like right now, I'm just kind of have a limited amount of energy to put in there and go. Once I get there, I feel like I have the energy to go, okay, we're here.
Mm,
Okay, let's really figure out what we're doing here.
mhm. And as two women that are going to be traveling alone, do you have any like pre-safety things that you would automatically incorporate into your travel bag or whatever to take along with you?
What do you mean in my travel bag? Like
Well, just, I mean, like there's so many different gadgets out now. Like there's things that you can scan rooms with to see if there's a hidden camera. There's like special locks to put into your doors. There's, foot things to stick and,
no,
huh?
I didn't even think of that. I got my little safety purse that's got like a bazillion locks on it and that's about it. No,
Yeah.
didn't even cross my mind to do things like that.
Mm,
Wow.
okay, that's interesting.
No,
And eat
I
and
don't either.
my my daughters are young women and they they have all the TikTok stuff. So, and no one said, "Hey, go get something for your hotel room." I didn't even think of that. I'll get her to look now. Get on, get some safety. No, didn't even think of it. We were going to stop in Iceland, and
Mm,
because my husband's not coming, and in there you have to drive everywhere. There's not the train systems and stuff like that, and I didn't want to drive, and so that's why that went off. And it's not that I'm not a good driver. I just didn't want the hassle of driving.
right.
So there was some considerations of who's going and things like that, but and that's not really a safety. That's more of I don't want to be figuring it out and
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
that stopped, but I no, not really safety things. I checked all the travel advisories, and like everything is terrorism, and it's just like, but wherever you go in Europe seems to have those type of
Yeah.
brains.
Yeah.
There's the gang things, but we have gangs in Vancouver. Like,
Right.
like, am I being
Yeah.
irresponsible? Now you got me
No,
questioning.
Tracy G, I'm with you. I mean, I travel a lot by myself. So you have your daughter with you. I had Miss Mona with me this last time, but also for my job, I do a lot of traveling myself. And I'm in all kinds of areas. So I don't do what you said, like what you asked her about Tracy E, like the special thing to see if there's a double mirror and that whole thing. Because I'll be honest with you, that would heighten my anxiety to a point where I'd probably be paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like I'm always checking for something to be wrong. Like I think that would just heighten my anxiety to a point where it would paralyze me.
Mm.
And so I don't, but I do like stay in kind of the same chain of the hotel
Right.
because then I'm very familiar with that hotel. I'm very familiar with the room setup, the secure, like I'm familiar with all kinds of things. Even with Mona and I, we just came up from Florida and we're now in Wisconsin for the summer. And I stayed at the same brand of hotels. I felt very secure, very safe. You know, we went, and it's funny that you brought this up and asked about it because there was one instance where I didn't feel safe, and you guys will never believe what it was. I stop every couple hours for both Mona and I. I stretch, I walk her, I put her back in the car, we fill up the gas tank. I constantly keep my gas tank full. So I don't wait for it to get to a quarter. If I stop in a couple hours and it's down to a quarter or to a half, it gets topped off. That's something I've always done. If if I get caught in traffic, I don't have to worry about anything. If it's anything, I know my car's taken care of. So forgot what, it doesn't matter what state I was in, really doesn't. Um, and I pulled off to the side. I pulled into a gas station, and there's even a series of gas stations I go to. But unfortunately, this wasn't one of the gas stations, but it was getting on in the trip. I was kind of in a back road situation. So I get off, I take her out, and I let her go do her business. She's on the leash. And about two cars down, there's a group of boys and I say boys and girls, men and women. They're probably in their 20s, mid to 20s, whatever. And I'm not stereotyping, I'm just giving you context. And one of them just kept staring at Mona, like creepy staring, like constantly staring at Mona. And I get a lot of people walk over to me with Mona because she's a friendly dog and they always ask to pet. Sure, Mona sits down and she lets them pat him, the whole thing. But this person just wouldn't stop staring at her, like uncomfortable staring. And so so I drove in, I filled up my gas tank, I take her out, she does her business. She's in a crate, she's in the back of the car. I put her back in the crate and I close it. And that's when the car's all locked up. I have the keys, I have my phone, and I usually run in, use the facilities, get a bottle of water if I want a snack or something, come out and off we go. What? I wouldn't because that person gave me such the creeps. It's staring at Mona. I'm like, I don't like this. So I had to use the facilities, unfortunately, but I took the car and I waited until I could get in a parking space right in front of the door. And then I ran in, used the facility, got out, and left. And the person could have meant nothing. Could have been like, it could have meant, but I just didn't feel comfortable with that situation. So I changed the situation.
See, some good safety practice, right? Good
Yeah.
safety practice for picking the same chain of hotels, going to the same gas stations, doing what's familiar, taking care of yourself from that standpoint. All of that adds up to safety for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say too, is that, some basic common sense, some gut feelings. Like I'm not going all like woo loopy when I travel. I'm still going to be, like
Yeah.
that, like just some basic common sense stuff and watch
Yeah.
where we're going and all that stuff. But I didn't take it to the next step. And I think Michelle, like I would probably, if I felt that I had to keep checking, it might take put an edge on me that I didn't want. Why
Right.
did you, Tracy, when you traveled?
Like I do, I take simple
Wait,
things
where were
like
you? So where were you?
I was in Ireland and Scotland, and it was a
Fabulous.
it was fabulous, totally. And it was a very mobile trip. So like we were only staying at the same place for like a couple of nights, and then we're like constantly moving on the go, on the go, on the go. So I guess like I mean, I just pack things like I have a flashlight with me to make sure, so in case there's a power outage or whatever, which has happened to me in the past,
That's a good
I'll
one.
take a flashlight to make sure that I can see what's going on. I make sure I have a little travel emergency like medical kit in my
Hmm.
bag to make, just in case, you never know. Usually I'll see if I can get an antibiotic from my doctor just in case of those female problems that we have. I've got
Yep.
something to take care of down the road. But it's funny because there's a gadget that's on the market. I've actually bought this for several people. And it's a door stop that you put in the door. So you get into your hotel and it's not like a paranoia kind of feeling. It's just like, okay, it's just part of the ritual that you do. You bring in your bag, you open it up, you take out your toilet, it's like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you just jam this thing under in the door. And what it does is if someone is trying to open the door, whether it's by accident or not, you get alerted to the fact that someone's trying to
Mhm.
unlock the door because we have actually had somebody walk right into our room. Somehow, the front desk has given them the same key because it's a key, just
Yep.
a credit card thing. Somehow they ended up with the same exact key as ours. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and this person just walked right into our hotel room.
And I can
And
tell you that has happened to my friends as well. So this is not an urban myth. It happened.
it does happen, right?
It
It's like,
freaked them out. It was like, what the hell
well,
is going
all of
on
us
here?
got freaked out. Like the person was freaked out. We're freaked out. It's like, oh my God, right? Because I mean,
I've
it wasn't
been,
anything sinister.
no,
Yeah.
I've been that person, not the one in the room, the one that walked into the
Oh
room.
my God. See? So it's like, so it can happen. So
Right.
this
Yeah,
is just like that little cautionary, okay, someone's trying to get into the room that shouldn't be getting into the room. And the doorstop obviously stops them from being able to enter,
right.
which is what the ultimate goal is. So it's just funny that's happened. So I actually have bought them for a bunch of people. I don't own one myself, but I've bought them for a bunch of people who travel a lot. And have given me some stories that have made me think, you should maybe be a little bit more careful, and
Right.
given them some
Yeah,
of those things. And I just think for like women traveling alone,
Yeah.
it's good to have some practices like Michelle, like, I'm going to always make sure I stay at the same type of hotel or the
Yeah.
same
I
chain
think that's a
because then
great
I
idea.
know what to expect. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Same gas stations, have the same routine, topping up your car, like not letting it get below half a
no,
tank. Like all of those things I think are
yeah,
really safety conscious. And for women who don't do a lot of travel, if you're just starting out and, your first thing is going to be a road trip or you're going off to some exotic place. It's knowing some of those little things, I think, that can really be beneficial to say, what should I be taking that maybe isn't part of the normal packing list that I would pick off of Pinterest? You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think it can be really beneficial.
So
Um,
what did you do for your prep? And now that you've come and gone, what have you done anything different for your prep?
Yeah, so what I did was and it's so interesting how my prep has evolved based on what has happened in previous situations, right? Going for a month, the packing of clothing was a bit of a challenge, right? Because we were going to be experiencing cold weather and very warm weather. It's like,
Yeah.
oh God, now what do you do, right? So I tried to be as diligent as possible. I still brought too much. So that's a very interesting thing. I still brought too
yes,
much. Because what I would do is in my mind, I was like, well, I can always get this stuff laundered, right? So I can go 3 or 4 days and then get my heavy sweaters laundered, and then I'm okay. I don't have to pack like extra stuff, which was the case. But what I would do in advance is, especially if I'm going to some place, um, where I'm not staying at a hotel that I know what facilities they offer, I would check to see if there is laundry, if they're like what does the hotel actually provide me? Because there was a few places that there was no laundry services whatsoever,
Mm.
which was surprising because the hotel was fairly large, but they still didn't offer any laundry services. So that was one thing. I always make sure that I now carry some white and black cotton thread and a needle with me, as well as safety pins, always, because I have been caught without that and not being able to do anything about that. So that's one of my other things that goes into my little prep bag, along with my headlamp. I use a headlamp instead of a flashlight, but whatever, in case I need it. I have needed it in the past and didn't have one. Um, I use like those little packing cubes.
yeah, so do I.
Yeah, because they're the best. You can label them so that it's really easy to pick whatever it is that you want.
And sorry,
Um,
just side note on that. I always thought they were a scam until I started using them, and then I was like, oh my, they really work.
Yeah, you can pack so much in them. And nowadays they even have packing cubes that are compression packing cubes so that you pack them and then you can do this extra zipper, which even makes it even better. So, I mean, those things are a godsend. They really are. Um, like I never bring extra shoes. It's like whatever it is that I'm wearing is going to be good enough. I am not bringing extra shoes. Too much weight in the bag, way too much weight. In the kind of trip that we did, where we're only staying for a couple of days in each at each location, I actually carry a separate bag so that when I get to the spot that I'm at, I can just pull out what I need out of my big suitcase and walk into the hotel. So that I don't have to
Mm,
I'm not like, because especially in Europe, there's a lot of these places, they don't have any elevators, they don't have any lifts, like, so you're hauling your suitcase up, Well, I stayed at this one place when I was in Scotland, there was 55 steps to get to my room.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's like, I'm not hauling a suitcase up that far. So having it just an extra, and it's not like fancy, it's just like it's like a shopping bag basically, right? And you just throw in the things that you need for a couple of days and take that up to the room and you're good to go. So those are some of the things that I found super useful to do. Um, and yeah, like if you like you don't need 90% of what you take. Like honest
I
to God,
was,
you really don't.
yeah, this year I really tried. So this was our second like full cycle of going back and forth. So I'm still, and so I had my partner, he came up before me. So he had a box of mine, but that was more not clothing and stuff. It was things I wanted in the kitchen, like, you know. And then what happened was so I had three suitcases, one really big one, one medium size, and one like little to bring in and out. And last year when I traveled with her, I'll know my little Miss Mona here. Um, it got cumbersome because I have her, then I had her bag out over my shoulder, and I had another bag, and I'm like, oh, this is bull. Nope. So I just had a little rolling like carry-on suitcase. And my book bag has the thing in the back, so it slips on the handle. And I had a little shopping bag that I put her two bowls in, a toy, the snack, just one snack, and her food for that night. And like it was such an easy, compact thing that I pulled it out, slipped the book bag on. I had a crossbody for my purse. And because I'm in the same hotel all the time, I do everything electronic. So I had checked in, I had my room key, I had everything. And I just walked in, waved my phone, said, checked in. She's on her leash, happily greeting everybody. And we went right to the elevator, got in. It was like that took a lot of pressure off of me
Yeah, yeah,
because that's another thing that worries me that somebody sees me struggling with a bunch of stuff and sees everything in my car.
yeah.
So I always park it in front of the hotel under the light. I don't spend the time worrying that someone's going to attack me or somebody is going to rob me. I
Mhm.
do not spend that time thinking of that. I just take this added precaution.
Mhm. It's
It
a
Yeah,
helps
common sense
me.
step.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
helps
And
me.
that
It
that
helps, like
added
I,
precaution is why you don't worry about someone attacking you or
yep,
being robbed, right? It's like that's
right,
that's what we need to do as women to
yep,
take that pressure off, right? Yeah. And
right.
be aware of
And
your surroundings and park underneath lights
uh,
and like all the
yeah,
common sense
common
things.
sense.
But yeah.
But I like it because, and I like doing everything on my phone aspect of it because then I don't have to stop at the front gate. I don't have to show like have a habit of dropping my license or dropping. It's just to me very seamless
Hmm.
for it, and it's easy. I was easy with her. The only thing is Miss Mona does not like elevators. She gets in a corner and just stares in the corner
Mm.
until the door opens. But then we go in, we do what we have to, and then we sleep. And the next morning, and I leave early. So I usually go out in the dark. So
Mm.
her and I are out. We left both mornings at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So, to get, because there were areas I had to get through without traffic. But, um, and it was funny because when people realized I was driving up with just Mona, it was just me and her. There were a couple guys that said to me, aren't you afraid you're going to drive? And I kind of was like taken back for a moment because I don't think anything not to go. It'd be like something saying to Tracy, gee, what do you mean you're going to Switzerland by yourself with your daughter? Aren't you nervous? I don't want
Well,
to live
no,
like
I was
that.
supposed to be.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
but I don't go foolishly.
Yeah. And I think that's the
That's the
point of
point.
this is that all
Yeah.
of us
Yeah.
is just, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and streamline your toiletries as much as possible.
Oh, yes.
Like don't take a body cream and a face cream. Face cream does everything. You just don't, like one
Yeah.
thing. You don't like just try to streamline that as much as humanly possible because
Oh, yeah.
honestly, like it's just crazy some of the stuff we end up
And in the
packing.
past, I've always brought my jewelry, like oh
Mhm.
this, and then nowadays it's like what earrings am I going to wear? Maybe have a backup in case I lose those earrings, which are going to be cheap earrings. They're not going to be my good ones because I'm
Yeah.
traveling and I don't need to do all the accessory
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I do know some people have a costume set of like their wedding band and everything.
Right.
They just don't feel comfortable traveling with it and they'll slip that on. I'm the same way, Tracy G. I used to be like match everything. Oh, I need this. Let me bring that, this and that. What's on my body when I get on that plane is what's going to be in form of
Hmm.
jewelry the whole rest of the time, unless I'm
Yeah,
going
me
like to a
too.
wedding or something and
Right. Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
have something special. But
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not it anymore. No. I bring like one sweater that matches all the outfits.
Mm.
I had to go to Vegas for work and I had one gray sweater because it went with all the outfits. And I was swore by the end of the fifth day, people must have been so sick of that sweater. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care. I was able to bring carry-on and no.
Yeah.
The one thing that I did do when I got home was I took pictures of all the stuff that I had packed, and then I circled on the pictures all the stuff that I didn't use because I didn't know how to pack for a month because I've never and especially when it's like you're going when it's cold and you're coming home when it's warm. It's like
Yeah.
I really didn't know how to do that and when I packed, I was like, I still took a whole bunch of stuff out and then, repacked. And I still felt like I was taking too much, but I thought, no, no, like,
You
this is
never
crazy. You
know.
can't, I know exactly, right? And so by the middle of the second week, I was like, I have way too much stuff. This is
Hmm.
ridiculous. I don't know what I was thinking. So
Yep.
I did that so that if I ever go away again for a long period of time, straddling a couple of different, temperature scenarios, I know what I have to take
I
and
like
what I
that.
don't have.
That's a really good point. And if
Yeah.
you did it every time you came home and then you're just like, oh, I can do carry on for 3 weeks. I can do this.
Yep.
That's a really good idea. I like that one.
Mm.
I know somebody that's all they do. That it doesn't matter where they're going. If it's even a month, it's always carry-on. And then today, she actually showed her carry-on suitcase, and the whole thing, the inside of it all puffs up, and it's one of those compressions. You push a button or you push this vacuum seal, and it brings it all the way down, so that she
Huh,
can just close it up and go on.
Nice.
right.
So, like, yeah, I do think the same thing. Yeah. So, how do you travel? Do you have tips that you would like to share? Or has which tip did we share that resonated with you? Put it down in the comments. Make sure you share this with some of your traveling buddies. Make sure you hit like and hit that subscribe button and hit notifications so you know when our next episode will come out. Until next time.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.